Hello, Ryan. Welcome to the podcast. How are you doing, mate?
I'm not too bad. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Long travel down?
Yeah, from Durham. It was like an hour and a half on the train.
Yeah, not too bad then. Not too bad. You got a bit of
mate.
editing done, didn't you?
I got a bit of editing done.
What
Yeah,
was
that's
it?
what we do. Yeah, a bit of
Yeah.
editing on the way. I did a style shoot yesterday, so cracked on with that. Had
Yeah.
a cup of coffee. Can't complain, really.
Wicked. It's
Alright.
living the high life. Yeah.
No, literally,
I
mate.
had a coffee yesterday. This is as good as life gets.
I know. If I have a Costa, it's a good day. I don't
Yeah.
just have like a coffee at home.
More of a Starbucks guy.
Are
Not paid to say that.
To be fair, I am as well. But
Oh, yeah?
at Durham, they only have a Costa, and it's I mean, it does taste like piss, but it's better
Yeah.
than nothing, I guess.
Great start, this, isn't it?
I know, yeah. There we go.
The one thing I've just noticed is that for people watching on YouTube, a little segue there for people to try and watch on YouTube,
Why not?
the style and the setup is a little bit different, but that's because of the sun. So we have to set up a bit different, didn't we?
That pesky sun.
But it's just gone now.
I know.
Where's it gone?
I know, literally.
For people listening to this is great.
They're like,
this is a little insight into what
skip.
it's like to be blind.
Skip. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing stuff. Well, I've got a little question. So normally I do ask people like, what are your...
Yeah.
I've been asking the 5-item thing.
I have heard that.
You have heard that, but I
I've
feel
been
like you might
preparing
have,
my 5 items.
you're prepared for it.
I have,
So
yeah.
we'll can go into it. But
Cool.
the question I have got for you is, if someone asked you to sum up
Yeah.
your craziest day
Yeah.
of this job, so wedding filmmaking, how would you describe that in one sentence?
One sentence. It has to be a wedding from this year. And I'm gonna
Ever, I reckon.
Ever?
Yeah, I'm
Oh
making
no,
it
I'm
up.
saying it has to be from this. Like, not saying it has to be from this.
Oh,
year.
right,
I'm
yeah,
saying
yeah.
from my point of view, it has to be this year because it was the craziest fucking wedding ever. Basically, in one sentence, bride, groom, photographer, videographer, get a helicopter from Rotherham Church
Yeah,
to Middleton Lodge
yeah.
on a Sunday afternoon, just for shits and giggles.
Nice.
Because the bride and
I
groom
saw
wanted
that. That
to.
was epic.
Yeah,
That
mate.
was pretty
Honestly,
epic, yeah.
I was bricking it.
Were you?
I was shitting myself.
Don't like heights, I bet. Is that what it is?
You what?
Heights. Do you not like heights?
I don't mind heights. I'm a rock climber, so I love heights.
Not the where I thought you were going to go with that. I love heights. I love rock climbing.
I'm a rock climber, mate, by trade.
Yeah.
No, because I've never been in a helicopter before. Obviously, been in planes and stuff.
Yeah.
And then, like, when the inquiry came through, I was like, helicopter? Fuck it, why not? That would be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be, like, some nice content. And then, like, a month before, the bride sent me, like, all the itinerary and stuff. And my heart, oh, my God, I was shitting bricks. I was
Really?
like, oh, my God, like, it's a helicopter. And I know the safe-ish is,
Yeah.
like, as like, safe as a helicopter can be.
Yeah.
But then, like, up in that point, I swear to God, like, my phone's listening to me, because up until that point on Facebook, it was like, helicopter crash, Zimbabwe, Himalayas, helicopter crash. And I was like, are you fucking taking the piss? Like,
Yeah.
I'm going in a helicopter in, like,
Yeah.
a couple of weeks. And then, obviously, it got to, like, 2-3 weeks beforehand, and I was like, well, I can't back out now.
Yeah.
Like, I've literally...
committed.
I'm doing it.
Yeah,
like,
you're
I'm
on.
in for a penny, in for
Yeah.
a pound. And then on the day, it was... Oh, actually... My heart was fucking amazing. So, like, in the church, where they were like having the ceremony and stuff, all you heard was a come on the top.
A dark shadow.
Yeah,
Come over the church.
it literally just like
Godzilla.
Yeah, and I'm there like filming. I'm like, oh God, yeah, that's my
Yeah.
helicopter. I'm getting in.
Yeah.
And then after the church and everything, all the guests like started to head to the venue, and then me, bridegroom and stuff, went over to where the helicopter was in this field, and I was like, oh God, it's happening. Like, I'm getting in it.
Yeah.
God, I sound like such a coward now, don't I, about helicopters. Ugh. But like, I got in it, and I managed to persuade the photographer, because basically for the wedding, I bought like a 12mm lens, because I wanted to, because I knew the helicopter. She sent me like what it was going to look like inside.
Be tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so tight, mate, honestly. And obviously, like, she had like a proper big wedding dress and
Yeah.
stuff, and I kind of wanted to get a shot purely just of them. That's why they booked it, right? Like, I wanted to get a shot of them in the back, and basically I persuaded the photographer if I could go in the front, so I can kind of like get some over the angle shots of them flying and stuff, and yeah, managed to do it. And as soon as you take off, after like a minute or two, you're like, 1 minute now, why am I scared? And then you flew there and landed, and yeah, mate, it was crazy.
Well, that was a long sentence, mate.
Shit, yeah. Is that a sentence? That's like a 10-minute bloody story. That
No, I
we
loved
haven't
it,
even
I loved it.
started.
That's kind of why I asked that question. I want to ask that question just to
That's like a
get the story. Yeah, it's a good story.
I
Great
know.
stuff.
Yeah.
And it's crazy where this job can take you. Like,
Totally,
doing
man.
stuff like that. Like that
Yeah.
is just not a normal.
Nah.
I don't know what day it were, but let's say it's a Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday
That's
afternoon.
not a regular Saturday, is it?
No.
You know what I mean?
I know. I mean,
Mental.
turned up on Monday morning, and my brother was like, "Oh, what do you do on the weekend?" I was
Yeah.
like, "I got a helicopter."
Yeah.
He was like, don't you do weddings? I was like, yeah, it was for a wedding.
Yeah, I'll have a wedding. Yeah, this is it.
It was like,
baby.
what?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, insane, yeah.
Craziest time.
Yeah, that's interesting, yeah. But I just want to, so we'll go back in time then. Back in time, baby.
We'll
go back to before you were shooting weddings.
Ooh.
So I found out, it's not hard, it's on your Instagram.
Well, yeah.
So I found out that you lived in Chinaland,
yes.
Loved it. So talk to me a little bit about that, like why you were out there, and like a little bit of like life before weddings, I guess. So just to build a bit of who is Ryan? Who is Ryan Edwards?
Oh God, here we go.
How long
have you got? Could talk about it all day.
That's it. Let's wrap the podcast.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah. So obviously living in the Northeast. I studied acting when I was younger as a kid.
Yeah. Which is actually something I were hoping you'd bring it up.
Yeah.
So sorry to interrupt you, but like
because you did it as well.
I did it as well. Yeah. So you might have heard it. I think it was in Sophie's episode.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
We chatted about because she did it as well. So
yeah.
It's interesting.
Funny
I do
isn't
think
it?
that
Yeah.
a lot of people that are around like our age, of like I said the same thing to her, but like you do go one or two ways. Like you continue doing that, or I think you want to do some sort of expressive, creative thing.
Kind of
falls into the same sort of category, I guess.
Yeah, I think I always knew I wanted to be in this industry from like an early age. I think when I was 12 years old, like I asked as a Christmas gift, I was like, "Can I have The Great Escape on VHS?" That was like when I was 12, and I was like, "What?" My mum was like, "Are you sure? Like, why do you want The Great Escape?" Yeah. And now it's one of my favorite films of all time. But I just loved it. Yeah, like absolutely loved it. And then from there, studied acting at college. Yeah. And then what happened? What did I do? I moved down south to London, did a bit of acting there, starred in a few films actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Expand, go on.
Well,
Spill the beans, mate.
Les Mis, I was just like a background for that, but that was like such a cool experience in Pinewood.
Yeah.
And then I did a few auditions, some nightmare auditions, honestly. Like, I'll never tell the story, especially like to listeners and stuff. It was horrendous.
Everyone was like thinking, come on, just tell them.
Well, no.
Tell one, go on.
There was one where I was doing like a commercial for this. Oh God, I think it was like this hair loss company or something. Honestly, I mean, obviously I've got hair and stuff, but I don't know why. Like,
shaved your head off. For
literally
role.
Proper committed.
Little kid going to the
shaved my hair, didn't even get the role. Imagine that.
Yeah.
But I basically
full method acting.
Yeah, literally Full Metal Jacket, and then like 6 months to get the hair back again. But no, basically, they give me a script on the day, and I'm quite good at like memorizing lines and stuff. And then on the day, for some reason, I just could not get my words out, and I was like fumbling my words so much.
Yeah.
And then I think it was about take 6 or 7, and I was like, right, come on, Ryan, come on, you can do it. And then action, blah, 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 and just fucked it. And he was like, right, yeah, that's thank you, yeah, okay, no worries. We'll be in touch. And I walked out, and I was like, I didn't get that one.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's just a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is like a cutthroat industry, isn't it?
It is,
like, you have to just be made of rock, because you get so much rejection, and you just have to like, oh well, next one. But then I had a few auditions, and I did get them.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, theory of
makes you stronger.
Exactly.
The knockbacks.
I know. Just had to grow my hair back again. I'm like, what did I do? Yeah. No, I did one with the biggest one I always say, which anyone who I've worked with, they're like, fucking hell, Ryan, you're on about this again. The Theory of Everything. Yeah. Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah, I think I've seen this on the website or Instagram or
somewhere.
Like
yeah. Oh, it's on my homepage.
Just me and Eddie.
Now does wedding films.
Yeah.
Basically, I auditioned for that, got the role, and I did a few days there. One of the days was in Covent Garden Opera House.
All right.
And it was just, I don't know if you've seen the film.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, there's a scene when he's like coughing, splitting up blood and stuff. And then basically I was like his, what was it? I was his Swiss friend.
Right.
I don't know what the role was on. Oh no, Geneva student. I was a Geneva student.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
Geneva student.
Yeah.
Totally. It's on IMDb somewhere. At one point, I think I was like 6th billed as well. Like,
really?
I mean, the pay obviously wasn't like 6th billed.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck no. Anyway, I did a few days of there. That was really cool. Like that.
That's epic, mate. That's really good.
I like that.
So how did you end up in China?
So basically, I was with an ex-girlfriend. We broke up, and I was like, I just want a complete change of scenery. Yeah. So I went on Google, typed in jobs abroad. Bosh. 4 weeks later, I moved to China.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's
there.
Pretty ballsy stuff.
Yeah.
How old were you when you did that?
How old was I? I'm 33 now. I think I was like 24 Oh,
yeah, so it's
24, 25.
What do you, like, family say to that? Were they like, yeah, go for it, or were they a bit, like, apprehensive? I don't know why this is turning into therapy, mate. I'm just
I know,
curious.
Yeah. How much do I owe you afterwards?
Yeah.
I think my mum was like, when I messaged her, I was like, well, I didn't message her. I think I rang her because I was living down London at the time.
Yeah.
And I was just like, got some news.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, what? You come back home for a few weeks?
How would you fancy spending Christmas in China?
Yeah,
I'm moving out there.
Yeah, I'm moving to China. She's like, what? I was like, in 4 weeks. What?
Yeah.
What are you on about? Like, why are you moving to China? Of all places.
Yeah. Because you'll presumably moved down to London like a few-ish years before that.
Yeah, I was there I moved there when I was 18. So I was there for about 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
And then
that's a funny call about that.
Yeah, I know, yeah. It was a bit mental.
China of all places, yeah.
I know. I had to go to Beijing for a few weeks, a bit of training, and then go to Changsha, which was like the city I lived in.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool. I was teaching over there. I was doing like filming and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't change for the world.
Amazing.
It was class.
Did that then lead into your weddings? Like, how did the weddings come around?
The weddings came around. So like, I've always like loved filming, even if it's like behind the camera or in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Kind of like acting like took a step back. I took a step back from acting. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And then basically when I was in China, I was just doing loads of filming. I entered like short film competition, nothing to do with weddings at all. Entered like a few short film competitions, won quite a few, which was like absolutely class. And I was like, hey, maybe I'm actually like not too bad at this.
Yeah.
And then moved back. Me and my wife got married in 2020. And this is probably the spark, like that, like the catalyst that kind of like made me think about weddings. We had a photographer, so we had an elopement in Ukraine. She's Ukrainian.
Yeah.
And we had an elopement in Kiev. And the photographer that we hired for like a couple of hours, like we were just having like just going around the city. It was like my first kind of experience into like elopements and stuff.
Yeah.
And we're just like going around the city, just like getting like some cool pictures and this. And I was just like, man, I'm so jealous of your job. Like it's the best job in the world. You're just like following us, doing a few shots.
Yeah.
Shots.
Yeah.
Why not? And then that was a drinking motion for anyone listening.
Hopefully, mate. People be like, oh yeah, I get that now. Yeah.
Oh right, that's what he's on about.
Yeah. I'm just generally buzzing. Yeah. Love shots, camera shots. Yeah.
Hey. And then we did a few. Did like obviously like the day and stuff, and I was like, yeah, I think maybe I want to move into weddings and stuff.
Yeah.
I did a bit of YouTube beforehand as well.
Something we also share in common there.
Yeah.
Seems to be a theme.
I know. I liked a bit of YouTube. Yeah. Another story with so there's a YouTuber I worked with, and this is kind of how I was like, right, I'm going to go and buy a decent camera. I'm going to kind of really like jump in head first, like in this whole industry. Because before that, I just had like daft little cameras and stuff, GoPros and whatnot. And then I went on Upwork. Oh, my voice broke there. Upwork. Upwork. No, I went on Upwork, and I saw like an ad like, videographer required, blah, 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 editor, etc. Must have done like golf filming, and I was like, man, I haven't done any golf, but this sounds like a class opportunity.
Yeah.
So what I did when I lived at home in Newton Aycliffe, I basically contacted my local golf course, and I was just like, can I just do like a video for you? Just so random. I knew the lass who kind of worked there. I went to school with her and stuff, and I was like, can I just do a video? Like, I'm not going to be in anyone's way or whatnot. I did a video for them within like a few days. Sent it off to this woman on Upwork, and then she was like, "Oh yeah, class! Come to Manchester, film it was like a course vlog, like doing an 18-hole vlog." Did that, and she was like, edited it, put it on YouTube. She's like, "Yeah, that's class. I'm going to Dubai in a few weeks. Do you want to come? Like all expenses paid, sponsored by BMW and stuff." That was absolutely sick. And then we went to Spain like a few weeks after. And it's just kind of like snowballed from there.
You're the man that's travelled all over the world. It's like you've gone everywhere.
I know,
completed it, mate.
Do you know you can get 2 passports, like extended edition? That's like too many stamps, mate. Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and when you fill the
Is
that what you did then? Did you?
Well, you have to. I think you can get like
more pages in it.
Yeah, more pages in the passport and stuff. From there, I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. This was after like when I got married and stuff, and then I think my wedding's only been starting. I think what are we now, 2024. Like May 2021, I think was my first wedding.
Right.
And basically a friend from school was like, oh, do you want to do like, we've seen that you do filming. Do you do weddings? And I was like, no, not really. I haven't like pushed into weddings much, to be honest.
Yeah. And just to backtrack a bit, were weddings something that you Did you already know that were a thing, wedding videography? Like when someone asked you, did you know? Not
really.
Not at all.
Honestly, nah.
No, not really.
Nah, I didn't know.
I think now's a good time to point out that you've only been in the industry, and this is like to date now. Is it about 2.5 years? You say
coming up to 2.5. Yeah,
it's coming up to 2.5 years. That's crazy. And like for where you're at now, just to like fast forward, that's insane. Like the progress you've made is insane.
Yeah, it's
so it's just interesting for me to know that like you didn't. Before 2.5 years ago, you'd not even considered doing weddings, and now here you are, and you're doing it full time.
Yeah, like full time wedding filmmaker.
So it's insane.
I appreciate it.
Let's just backtrack a bit then. So carry on. How did that first one come around then? So,
again, just through a friend. Like I guess quite a lot of people start out, and you're like, do I like it? Do I not? Do I want to do it?
Yeah.
Did it for like next to nothing, just to say, look, this is what I'm like. You'll get.
Yeah. Like you don't know, do you?
Yeah.
You don't know that there is money to be made in the job because it's not one of those things that people talk about outside the industry.
No.
Like, you just think, I don't really know if people would even have an idea of what to say a photographer or a videographer would make.
Yeah.
Photographer, they maybe have a bit of a better idea.
Yeah,
maybe.
if you Google or whatever.
But like videographer, you wouldn't have a clue. Like,
and that was like the biggest struggle when you got into it. Like, shit, right? If I want to go, like, I'm going to pursue this now. Well, like, obviously, what do you charge? Yeah. Like, how do you kind of get it off the ground?
Yeah.
And then I did a few more for like pretty cheap. And then just kind of like built a website, and it's just kind of like snowballed from there really, which is pretty. Sorry, I forgot the question.
No, just about how you got into it.
Oh right, yeah.
Don't panic. Don't panic. No, I was just kind of complimenting you, and like, what initially got you hooked on like doing weddings? Then, so you said at first that you were a bit like, do I like it? Do I not? Which I think is a pretty fair place to come from. Like, I think a lot of videographers. Not wedding videographers, but people that come into the industry to try it.
Yeah.
There's a reason not every single videographer is a wedding videographer.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
Not everyone likes it.
Yeah.
We were just chatting before, weren't we? And I said I've got a mate that does like short films and documentaries and stuff like that. Yeah. And he tried weddings, and he absolutely hated it. He didn't like the high pressureness.
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
For someone like me, I feel like I thrive off it. Like I quite enjoy that.
I love
it,
me. Yeah.
I enjoy the challenge and like overcoming it. Obviously, I don't like the pre-bit where you're shitting it.
Oh yeah. On the way to the wedding, you're like, oh god, here we go. This is it.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Like I said, I've got another friend that is in like the fitness space, doing like fitness content. He tried weddings, didn't like it. No. So I guess my question is, what got you hooked? Why did you think, I like this?
Before the first wedding I did, I've maybe been to like a couple of weddings or something as a guest. Yeah. Obviously not filming. And then I did that one. And I was like, this is so cool to kind of get like a completely different perspective on a wedding. Yeah. As not a guest, but like obviously as a filmmaker. Yeah. You're pretty much one of the only people there from start to finish. From the morning, you see the bride, obviously the groom, whatnot. You go to the ceremony, reception, evening, whatever. Yeah. And I was just like, that's like such a privilege to be like part of someone's day. Like from pretty much from the start to the finish of like someone's obviously like biggest day in their lives. And I just kind of like, I was like, man, I just feel lucky enough to be like part of the day. Yeah. And I just kind of like, you know what, this is like, I think this is what I want to pursue. And I love filmmaking anyway, and like whatever medium that is, whether it's like commercials or YouTube or wedding filmmaking. And I just thought, like this is...
Let's go for it.
Yeah, literally, yeah. I just loved it.
I think the other thing as well is probably...
I love the pressure as well.
Yeah, I think that what people don't talk about is the fact that, and I don't think this is a bad thing to say, I think the money. Like, people will be afraid to spend
you're right, yeah.
And like, I feel it's not just the money, it's the fact that it is an actual viable career. Yeah. It's a job where you can have a decent income and a decent living.
That's true, because when I first again got into it, like, you're like, how much do people charge? Yeah. And then when you figure it out, you're like, wow, okay, that's quite promising. Yeah. For like,
and that's not to say that obviously there's a lot that goes into it, and to get to charging a certain amount, a certain amount of hours. It's like anything.
It's like the iceberg effect, isn't it? Like what you see on the top, and then everything that kind of goes underneath.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, brilliant way of putting it. Better than I could put it. But yeah, so I think, that's a good way of looking at it, 100%. But yeah, so how would you now then describe your style? How would you, if someone asked you? I know it's a bit of a
it's a bit of like a
difficult one to say. Yeah, and I guess for you. But maybe it's quite interesting for you because you are sort of earlier on into your wedding business. That like, I don't know. I feel like that might be quite interesting to ask you.
I wouldn't. To be completely honest, I think I'm still trying to like figure out the style. Like I'm still trying to like see where, like, what path I want to go down on, like, terms of start. Like, I love, like, I mean, there's so many filmmakers, wedding filmmakers that I, like, obviously follow and stuff on Instagram.
Yeah.
Absolutely love him, but it's so hard not to be, like, influenced by every single
just be
post.
Like a mini version of those guys.
Yeah, totally. But I'd say my approach to the day, if that's what your next question was.
Yeah, go with that. Yeah.
Cool. My approach to the day, like, I try and be as discreet as possible. Like, I'm quite like the minimal approach. Like, my gear is quite minimal. How I am on the day, like, I try and not to intervene too much. On the wedding day, I find like it's such a privilege to. I think I've said this already, but it's like such a privilege to like be on someone's special day.
Yeah.
And you don't want to, like, I always, like, my philosophy, I guess, is like, I think you always be remembered on how you were on the day compared to like the film that you produce.
That's interesting. Yeah. I like that perspective.
Yeah.
That's really nice. You'd like to think that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, like a lot of the reviews and feedbacks I had, like, one of the, it's like, oh, Brian, you were like on the day, you were amazing. Yeah, you were like on the day, which I think has more of a lasting effect.
Yeah.
Like, say if someone came to me and they were like, oh, do you know, like, a photographer?
Yeah.
And like recommendations and stuff. Even if like they produced like the best work in the world, but they were like a bit crap on the day.
Yeah.
To someone who was an amazing on the day, maybe not as like produces the best level of photos. I think you're always going to go with that first person.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd agree.
I think I do agree. What I guess my question out of that is then, like, what do you, and this is quite difficult to answer, but what would you say people are seeing then? So when they're saying, oh, on the day you are, like, what are they saying? Like, how are like, do you like, and obviously this is again difficult to probably answer, but is that something you're very conscious of on the day? So are you making sure that you're having like a really good impression on these people, or are you just a general nice guy, just wicked guy?
Well, I'd like to think the latter, to be honest.
Easier to answer. Just go,
no, it's the
I'm
second
an actual
one.
dickhead, but on the day I just pretend.
Yeah, it's just it's all a facade. No, I think like.
Do you know what I mean though? Like, you can be a nice person, but on the day, at the same time, you probably, I don't know if you are, but are you thinking, oh, I'll laugh at that shit joke? I don't know where I'm going with that.
I know what you mean. No, it's not like I'm like I'm in the car just like miserable bastard, and then I'm like, hello, Ryan's here. I'm the happiest guy in the world. Yay! Whoa, jazz hands. No, it's more like I just feel like being good to work with and being around again just has like a lasting effect. And like I like to. I mean, I'm not just on the wedding day. I'm not just like a videographer. I'm like the brides and grooms. Like, say if anything goes wrong in a day, I want to be there to kind of like try and help them as much as possible, because it is a stressful day for them, isn't it? Like, there's a lot going on.
It's probably not stressful for us because we've been to so many.
Yeah, but that's like one thing that people don't. Yeah, so like my mum got married this year, and for the first time ever, I was in with the registrars because I was giving my mum away. I was in with registrars, and I was there like finding out what they say and like everything. Whereas normally we're like kicked out, we're not allowed to listen to any of that. Yeah. And just kind of like getting a different perspective. And then my mum obviously was very nervous, but we don't see that because we're outside, we're waiting for it to come down the aisle and whatnot. And it completely, and I was like, wow, yeah, that's like, because we've done so many, and you think it's just like, right, camera ready, waiting for the bride to come down. But she's going to be absolutely bricking it, like nervous as hell. And like, I remember this one time, basically, it was, the bridal prep was in like this hotel, and she was doing like a first look to like 20 people all at the same time. And the photographer was out getting everyone lined up. It was bridesmaids, mums, dads, uncles, dogs, whatever. It was loads of people. Yeah. And the bride was in the corner by herself, and I went in and I was like, right, are you ready? And she was like, right, I'm absolutely bricking it. Like, I'm so nervous. And I was like, right, videographer, put the cameras down. Yeah. It's time to be like someone to try and like calm them down a little bit. Yeah. And I went over and and I was just like, I even like held her hand, and she was proper shaking. Yeah. And I was like, it's okay. Like, honestly, they're here for you. Like, just take a few deep breaths. And you can imagine what she would have been like just by herself. Like, and then we're just like, right, come on in. Yeah. She would have absolutely nervous wreck. Like that, yeah, totally.
It is really difficult because obviously the venue and the coordinators or everyone else is like there on the days, wanting to go through the motions and meet the times, but sometimes
tick.
There's where we sort of sit on the fence because we want that at the same time, but at the other time we're documenting the moments, so we've got a bit of a little peek into the actual person's personality and how they're dealing with the moment. Yeah, and sometimes it is hard to just like be like, come on, get on with it. Like, I know. You do want to step in and be like, it's all right, you've got this, like what you said.
Yeah, just kind of like, and then funny enough, obviously delivered the film and stuff. And then the first thing that she said back to me after the film and that, she was like, I think it was like, P.S. like, thank you so much for like calming me down before I did the first look. And that's like, I think to me that's got more of like a lasting effect. I mean, the film, I'd like to think, is like banging and stuff, like kind of goes without saying. Like, you can be amazing on the day, but you still got to have good quality, like end product and stuff. But yeah, she was just like so grateful, and just other little moments, maybe not as like grand as that one, but like other little moments on the day when you just kind of like stuff that maybe the bride even won't like even know about. And you've done it, photographer, whatever. Yeah. Even like some bridesmaids, and like that's what it's all about, I think.
Yeah, 100%. So you mentioned on the day that you're quite, you know, a light footprint, I guess. On the day you try, like, you do get involved with situations like that. Yeah. But generally you're trying to keep. Yeah,
I kind of like back. Anytime I have a call with the bride and groom, or bride, groom, I'm more like a fly on the wall approach. Yeah. I'll intervene when I need to, when I feel like it's like, if you're in a dark corner getting ready or stuff, I'm like, can you just come over and need a light? Yeah. Stuff like that, obviously like portraits and stuff. Yeah. Like me and the photographer want similar stuff, but like, I don't know about how you like your approach, but I like obviously like a lot of movement and stuff. Yeah. You've got to like, and I think a lot of people have got to understand like that if it's just like a couple, they're not used to like being in front of the camera. Yeah. So I think kind of giving them like a little prompts. I don't know which guest on your podcast said it, but it's prompts, not pauses or something.
Yeah, prompt and not pause. Yeah, it seems to be like the phrase has been chucked around a lot. Yeah. And I think it's great. Like, it is, yeah. You remember it, and I think I tell couples that I say that to couples now because I think it's reassuring for them to hear that it's not. Because I think bottom line is I think couples do want some prompts. Yeah, most couples
aren't models or like used to being in front of the camera.
Exactly. So like they're gonna want some prompt, but I think when you're posing them and making them do a particular move, like it's just not gonna go down well.
It's not natural. No.
The average, person that's getting married. So
I'd rather just say to like Jack and Jill, just go over there. You guys just have. What?
Go up the hill. Yeah, proper dad joke there.
I'd rather like just go over there and like have a little moment and stuff. Yeah. And maybe if they are like getting a bit uncomfortable, just kind of like intervene and just be like, oh yeah, like we'll give you like a prompt or two. Yeah. I don't know, whisper or something. But just
good old Jack and Jill.
Good old Jack and Jill, mate.
Yeah. So where I was going with that question before is like, so what gear are you using?
Gear.
I mean, this is something that I always ask people. It's partly interesting, isn't it? I think people want to hear it, I guess. But
when I've listened to your previous podcasts and other podcasts like filmmaking podcasts, I always like listening to it because I'm like, oh, what gear have they got?
Comparing it.
You're like, oh, do they use the same thing? What are they using that I'm not, and vice versa.
I'm actually interested to hear what you're using because you on the.
I'm on the FX3 Sony. That's like my A cam.
Yeah. I'll let you just keep rattling it off. Then there you go.
That's it. Yeah.
We're rolling.
Let's go. Let's do it. FX3 for my A cam. B cam's like A7S3. Yeah. And then C cams A7C2. They're all 10-bit 422, which is like important to me. So make sure like it all just matches across the board. Lenses, I'm on like 35, 50, 85.
Hold on a minute. So we've got 35, 50, 85.
Yeah, all GM masters apart from the 85 because the first gen was absolutely horrendous. They've just brought out Mark II. I don't know if you've seen it, but
no, I haven't actually.
The first gen was just ridiculous. Like it was just so loud. So I had the Sigma, and then just kind of kept with that really. Yeah. But for like initially on the day, like
so it's 3 cameras, 3 lenses you use. No extras, is it?
I've got one extra lens. I bought like a 16mm.
Yeah.
16mm. I don't even know the name of it.
Samyang.
No.
Chat, you should know.
Viltrox. If that's a Chinese.
It's been to China and he's forgot the name.
Bloody hell, the irony. Viltrox, Viltrox 16mm.
Yeah.
Just like a different perspective of the day. Mainly, I don't use it much. Maybe for like 5% of the day. If you've got like a gorgeous room and I find like the 35 is just a bit too tight, you want to kind of like show obviously like the whole reception and stuff. So I use that predominantly for the day. On the FX3, do you use an FX on A7S3?
Yeah, A7S3.
On the FX3, I don't know if many people know this, but like I've got 50mm and you can zoom in to 1.5 to like 75mm, and it's like no loss of quality. It's kind of like APS-C mode, but without the loss of quality. So basically, I've got like 3 lenses and 2 cameras.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of that. I love like sniping out like candids and stuff on the 75.
Yeah.
Instead of switching out the 85 to put it on and stuff.
Yeah.
And I use a harness, so I don't like switching cameras. I just like to have everything on me.
Like much like a photographer would.
Yeah.
That type of style.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you use a harness? I've been meaning to ask you this.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I use the Peak Design clips. So I have a Peak Design, it's like a little clip that goes on a belt.
Oh yeah.
So it goes onto my belt, and then that's what I have on my hip, and then I have the the B cam. That's my B cam with the strap on. So that just goes over my shoulder.
Yeah.
And then I normally have my A cam in my hand, and if I need to swap anything, I'll just swap it from the
on the
clip.
clip.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's the cameras I use.
Audio,
drone, DJI Mini 4 Pro or 4 Mini Pro.
Yeah, that's what I've got. Yeah, the Mini 4,
Mini Pro 4.
No,
in that type of area. Yeah. It's one of the.
They keep sticking pros.
I know.
Yeah.
Pro, Cine, Mini, Ginny, Figgy, like one of them. Anyway.
One of them. Yeah, it's a Mini and it's a drone.
Yeah.
Is it DJI?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go then. DJI
it has
Mini
to be,
for. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, DJI. Love that. I just love that you can change it because I'm like big on reels on Instagram and stuff. I just love that you can change it vertical.
Yeah, it's so easy.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's to like utilize the whole sensor and stuff. Audio, I'm just rocking the Sony's TX660s.
660s, yeah.
I got a few of them. I've got a DJI mic 2 with the 64-bit float.
Yeah.
Purely for the fact if it's like a nice suit and I don't want to see this vape. Yeah, this vape like sticking out.
Yeah.
I've got a lav mic just to kind of hide there.
Yeah.
But I dare say the Sonys like do the job for me up until now.
Yeah, that's it. I think you can start looking into it too much.
You can, yeah. I mean, I'd like to eventually like. To be fair, it's probably what I'm going to do next year. Get the Tascams, the DR10Ls, Pros and stuff.
Yeah.
But for now, for this year, like the TX, it's like done me well.
Job,
If it's not broke, don't try
don't
it.
Fix it.
Yeah, don't try to fix it.
There we go.
Yeah.
So
audio, camera, drone.
We've done it. We've boxed it off.
That's it.
You've done that. So my next one, this is gonna be a bit of he wants a drink. He's gonna go for a drink. I'll ask you the question while you're drinking. You just drink away. So. You are a bit of a genius, I would say.
Oh God, here we go.
Full stop and end the podcast.
Can I finish that, please?
yeah, dear mate, I'm going home. Cheers, Harrison. Stick it on your website. But yeah, you are a genius when it comes to Instagram. Like I've seen some of the stuff that you post, and I see that you utilize ads really, really well. So talk us through Instagram. Obviously, I think this is like the main topic of conversation I want to chat to you about, really, because like.
He's trying to get some secret tips.
For someone that's giving up my time here, mate. But you know what I mean. Like, I think it's for someone that's new to the industry. You have really rocketed like your progress in terms of actual filmmaking and your business. I think is like even in the space of like just a year, has probably done the same as what I would have done in like 5.
Yeah,
like it's crazy, mate. And this like new wave of like, I guess, and this is not a dig nor a disrespect at all. It's a compliment, if I. But like this new wave of like Instagram influenced filmmakers. Coming through into the wedding filmmaking space. It's really interesting getting like your thoughts and takes on how to utilize Instagram, because I feel like you seem to be doing it in a way that is really successful.
Yeah, I think when I first started like 2.5 years ago, I think. First of all, I was so lucky to have like all this.
I guess we should point out that something I don't think you mentioned yet. But like before you might have mentioned it. I don't know if you have that. You did work doing videography, so you're not brand new.
Oh yeah.
So
It went like
2.5 years ago. You just started videography.
Oh no, God no, yeah.
So that's probably worth mentioning for people. That's like, like
how has he just picked up a camera and no, I mean I've done filming. I mean I've been editing. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I've been editing since I was in college.
Yeah.
So like 15 years plus on like Final Cut Pro.
Yeah.
Which I absolutely love.
Are you Final Cut as well?
Aye.
Oh, nice one, mate.
Yeah, mate. I love it. Final
Not many
Cut.
of us out there left in the world anymore.
Premiere Pro can. Nah, no way. Da Vinci maybe, but no.
I'm a Final Cut lover.
Oh yeah, absolutely love Final Cut.
We've got so many things in common here, mate. We've got the acting, we've got the YouTube,
we've got
the Final Cut, we've got Interstellar. We've not spoken about.
Bloody hell! Do you just want to marry me?
Yeah, we're just virgin.
Why not?
Yeah.
I'm moving into your
China,
house. There's always room. There's always time.
Yeah. There we go.
So I've done filming. Yeah, like obviously used camera and stuff for like, well, I started in college. I did like a few short films there.
Yeah.
And then before weddings, again, just like more hobbyist stuff. Obviously, like I mentioned, for like the commercials and the YouTube stuff. And then when I first got into weddings, I was just like, how can I? So I'm not like, my philosophy is, a lot of people like, buy a camera, build up a little, like get some money, and then buy like maybe a better camera, and then build up and like buy this gear. My aim was to like buy the best.
Instant debt.
Yeah. Instant debt, 20 grand credit card bill, buy the best that you can get. Because if you buy the best that you can get, then you can start producing the best that you can get. Yeah. Like if you can get the best cameras, not that obviously the best cameras produce the best work, but if you can get the best,
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And I was just like, I just want to kind of produce the best films I can from the start.
Yeah.
And basically how I started, like I just kind of, oh my God, I've lost my train of thought already. Shit, that's it. Where am I going here? Sometimes I start talking and I just don't know where I'm going.
I do that all the time,
mate.
Especially with this, especially with pod. I do it all the time.
The power of editing.
Yeah, I'm actually doing all right today.
Are you?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, normally I'm like, mate, I need to ask that question again. I'll start asking the question. I'll just go down this like tangent. Obviously, I've seen that you use Instagram to really utilize more.
Yeah.
Get more work, get more business.
Yeah.
So is that how are you using Instagram ads to? Is that how you're achieving that?
Yeah, basically. So like, I think I started using ads like a year and a half ago, where again, like it was trial and error, like putting different reels, different videos on what like I wanted to promote.
Yeah.
And I found like it was really important because like people's attention span these days are like 5 seconds or something. Thank you, TikTok. TikTok, bloody hell. So like if you create an ad that is really engaging within 5 seconds, you're more likely obviously for people to watch it.
Yeah.
And I'd say, this is probably not even a stat, but I'd say like maybe 9 times out of 10 people, when they look at an ad, the sound isn't on. I don't know if that's for you.
Yeah.
So like if you're on Instagram, like most of the time you have to click the little volume button to make sure.
Or tap on it.
Yeah, just to listen to the sound.
Yeah.
So I try and make sure that like the first few visuals are like very eye-grabbing, eye-catching.
Yeah.
Like one that I just did a few weeks ago for the Lake Como one, that was like, basically I had a song that I wanted to use for like 5 months, and it was just like an absolute banger.
It was such a good song.
Mate, it was so good.
Banging.
I want to tell you a story. Yeah, it was just, and I listened to it and I was like, whoa, that's going to do so well.
Yeah.
But I just need to wait. 5 months went by, did a Lake Como one, and then I was like, this is it. This is what I need to use it for this. Yeah. And then basically put it on, and it's just like absolutely skyrocketed. But I think the biggest thing about ads, really getting like into the technicalities of it, is like, put money behind it. Don't just, and every like photographer, whoever I speak to, they're like, I stuck a tenner on it, didn't do anything.
Yeah.
It's not going to do anything for a tenner.
No.
I always think.
But you can see it, can't you? Because I've done ads before.
Yeah.
So you can see like roughly, Instagram will gauge. You do your
estimated reach,
and it'll say an estimated reach. Sometimes it goes way below, sometimes it can go over that.
Yeah.
But it does kind of gauge it roughly. But you must have like such a
so
knack
like
for it. So
so like first of all, if anyone like this is like what I do, which works really well. I don't go on automatic, so you want to kind of really drill down the audience that you kind of that it's going to. Otherwise, you're paying for Uncle Grandma to like see it. Uncle Grandma. That's a new one.
Brilliant.
Uncle Grandma.
Oh, bloody hell.
Shit.
That is great.
That is that's.
That must be a Durham thing, that, mate.
Oh my God, Uncle Grandma! Look at that. That is like
that's got to be the stitches. That why you meant for Uncle Grandma? You meant to say Uncle Bob. I bet.
Uncle Bob. I'm going to say Uncle Bob. Uncle Grandma.
Uncle and your grandma.
Yeah, Uncle and Grandma. You don't want people. Basically, what I'm trying to say is you don't want people seeing it that have absolutely no interest.
Especially your uncle and your grandma.
Definitely not your Uncle Grandma.
Together. Oh God.
Where did that come from, by the way? So yeah, basically. Oh shit! I've definitely lost what I was thinking about now. So yeah, you kind of really drill in the audience. So I'm like, put mine to like 25 to 40 years old, mainly women, because obviously that's like the target audience. Yeah, that's who are looking for videographers.
Yeah.
Location wise, on mine I've just put like the UK and a few like European cities, Lake Como being one of them. And then for the budget, which I think is like the biggest thing, I stick like maybe £5 or £6 a day, and it's just like continuous. For the last year and a half, I know for a fact I've had an ad running all the time, like continuously. Yeah. Where I mean, it's different ads. Like if one kind of dies down, promote another one. If I do a new video and I think it's going to take off really well,
do that one instead.
Do that one instead. Stick quite a bit of money behind. I think for that Lake Como one, just to kind of give you like stats and stuff, I promoted that one twice, and the second time that I just promoted it, which was I think this time last week, I was looking on the train here actually, the stats. I think I've spent about £100 on it, and it's got me, I think it's about 450 profile visits, but follows, it's got like 250 follows.
Wow, really?
Just from that one. Yeah. And that's like £100 that you've got. Yeah. And I've had so many inquiries from it.
What, because I know on the Instagram ads, just to pick your brains on this, because I'm always curious and I've tried different things. So there is options where you can like drive people to like message you, go to your website. Which one of those you
Mine's just profile. Go to your profile.
Go to your profile.
Yeah, because if you go to the website.
You're treating that like it's like your shop window. So
exactly,
they see the ad, they go to the shop window. And then they go into the shop.
Yeah, they see the shop and they're like, hey, that looks pretty cool.
It's a nice shop.
I want to go in.
Yeah, and as soon as they go in,
you
charm them.
Yes, that's it. And then it's like, oh,
you wine and dine them.
Let's
introduce them to Uncle Grandma.
Yeah, this is my Uncle Grandma.
Yeah,
basically, and I found again trial and error. I did try for the website. But I find websites look a lot better on desktops, but obviously you don't really see promotions. I mean, you're always on your phone, like everyone just uses your phone.
Everyone looks on the phone,
Yeah. And the other one, what's that? Oh, send a message, like send a DM.
So that's
I did that for a couple of months, didn't get one message, and I was like, well, that's just wasted a couple of £100. Yeah. So now I find the best one is literally just go to your profile.
Yeah.
Which is... it's just worked so well.
That's worked best for you.
Yeah.
I know that there is the meta ads, which are linked to Instagram.
That's too complicated for me, man.
I've looked into that on YouTube, and there's like a guide that sits through, and it's like an hour-long thing. I tried to set it up once. It is the most complicated thing. And like, there probably is really easy tutorials out there. And for anyone listening that does know how to do it, if you put a tutorial online and try and sell it for £1, you make $1 million. Because no one knows how to do it.
I
speak to people about it, and I'm like, I don't know how people are doing it, but the people that are using that say it's, well, I looked on YouTube at a tutorial, and they're basically saying how you can really look into every single aspect. Like with Instagram, it's great because it does get the work coming in. It gets you the clients, I guess.
Totally, yeah.
But the downside is you don't know who's clicking on it when and what. And basically, Facebook, if you do it through Facebook, gives you all that.
Yeah.
But it's like how then you're going to get to a point where you're getting so like into it. Do you know what
I mean? The metadata probably is like useful if you're spending like
if you're a bigger business, maybe.
If you're
what we do, it's you don't need to.
You don't need it, and I'm like bloody proof of it. Like you don't need to do it. Like
you're smashing it, you're killing it, mate.
Yeah,
really
like you just don't need
stuff.
to. Yeah, I mean, I did try it. I did Google ads and stuff, and that was just like an absolute mindfuck. Like just so in depth, and you're like 10 pence max for a click and this and that, and I'm like, oh, like I just don't have time for this. Whereas Instagram, you literally it's 4 steps, and then it goes out to the people that like. That you wanted to really.
Yeah. That's
so
amazing.
in terms of like hidden secrets and stuff. Oh, I was joking actually. I was joking with my uncle grandma. No, last week for Coda, I said we were just like talking to a few mates and stuff, and I was like, oh, I think someone said, oh, Ryan, if you're doing the speaking, what would you talk about?
Yeah.
And I said I'd walk on stage, just have one page, and just be like boost, and then walk off. Like I just think it's so beneficial. Like. If McDonald's, I think someone said this on the podcast before, but like McDonald's and Apple have to advertise. Yeah. I think everyone has to advertise.
Yeah.
Especially starting off in the industry like 2.5 years ago. I only really utilised it like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And I really just wanted to kind of hit the ground running.
Yeah.
And I thought I'm just going to put as much money behind this as I can.
Yeah.
Without obviously like creating more debt for myself. And it's worked. Like it's got me so many bookings. Man, it got me my first destination wedding, which was New York.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, like
and New York
City, man. Yeah, like that's another like funny story. Anyway, I was driving back from Fiverside, and it popped up, and like you could see like obviously the date and stuff, the venue, and I was driving, and it popped up. I was like looking at my phone when I'm driving. I was like, New York City. I was like, oh my god. Literally pulled over. It was like 8:30 at night. I was like, I'm not waiting 10 minutes to get home to reply to this. I'm replying right now. Craig and Bethan, love you guys if you listen to this. But they, I messaged them straight away, and then like the next day, booked up a call. A few days later, they were like, boom, booked. Yeah, that happened, and that was like my first destination wedding, which I think has kind of like exploded my business quite a lot, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of destination weddings, if I'm being completely
I was definitely
honest.
following you before you did the New York one, but I remember seeing that, and that really like, I was like, oh mate, that is really
to have
sick.
that on your like website and stuff.
It's it catches people's attention.
Yeah, I do like that one.
Yeah,
but then that was my first one, and then I did France this year. Again, love it, but I don't push for them that much.
Do you know? I was just going to ask you: is destination somewhere where you want to explore more of? Do you want to shoot more destinations? Because how many do you shoot? How many shots?
I've only shot destination in total. I've only done 3. So I did New York last year, this year France, and then Lake Como last month.
Yeah,
I've got a couple next year, but I like it. I mean, it's amazing. Like I love traveling and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I think you're in that sweet early phase of like getting the taste for it.
Yeah.
But I think you'll probably hear people talking about a lot these days is like the downsides of doing destinations. Like it's great, and don't get me wrong, like you can't complain. People flying you out to film a wedding.
It's such a privilege.
Places. Like, you can't moan about it.
Nah, not at all.
I can.
So and I will. On a podcast.
On my own podcast, I've set it up to whinge. But no, it's just
it's like Sophie said when she was on the podcast. Like everything that people don't see. That's for the Lake Como one. It was like
the logistics of Como is one of those places that is truly stunning to document.
God, tell me about it.
But getting there,
it's a fucking nightmare.
It's horrendous.
Yeah.
Like the drive there is bad. It always takes like an hour and a half. You've got traffic to deal with.
Yeah.
The roads around Lake Como is not. You can't get anywhere quickly, can you?
No,
because it's all like lanes. It's not
dual
carriageway or motorway.
Yeah,
it's
you
all
just
like
one
lane.
single lane to go
If you
around.
want to go to a shop, good luck. Because if you're not actually in Como town, then my accent. Como, proper Yorkshire.
Como.
But it is a really difficult place. But you kind of got to take it with a pinch of salt because you're like, look at what I'm doing.
I know. And I mean,
this and that.
Yeah,
could be down pit.
Could be what?
Could be down pit.
Well, exactly. But it is such a privilege, and I wouldn't definitely not whinge about obviously being part of someone's day and abroad and stuff. But I think I'm trying to I've got bucket lists of destinations that I want to go to.
Go on, spill it. Where do you want to go?
If anyone's listening, getting married in San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Holy shit! I think I'd just love to live there, to be honest. Silicon Valley and all that. I'd love to move there, but I'd love to do a wedding there.
Yeah,
love that.
Would you like to do a wedding in China? Because does that have
a
special?
Absolutely not.
No meaning to you.
I didn't even hesitate there. No,
none. Never go back to China again.
Negative. No, Chinese weddings are very strange. They did themselves over when
they brought out COVID. I probably can't put this in.
Super spreader. No, no, China probably's not. Bali, I'd love to go to Bali and do a wedding. Yeah, that's my favourite holiday destination. But now that I've done a few, obviously New York, whatnot, would I race to go back? Probably not. I like to take it off and be
How did you find getting into America with the kit and stuff?
Absolutely fine. Yeah. I mean, again, I think I took 3 cameras, 1 tripod, very minimal kit.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was I knew that it was going to be a bit. I didn't want to take loads of gear. Obviously, light and loads of tripods and stuff.
Red flags. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So I just kind of wanted to go over there. That was absolutely fine.
Good. Yeah.
Same for the other 2 I did.
Europe is quite chill.
Yeah.
I've never had any problems in Europe.
No.
I've been out to Thailand and I've been out to California this year.
Oh, you jealous.
And California was the one I was really nervous for because I flew into LAX and I know that they looked on some sort of as you do. It's like when you self-diagnose yourself when you think you've got an headache and then it turns out you've got some sort of brain tumour. You've not. But it's one of those things.
It's a rabbit hole.
I went onto the internet as you do and I was looking at basically what you should do in airports and all this type of stuff. It was saying it was saying LAX is really strict and I saw all these videos on YouTube come up from people getting pulled into secondary inspection, getting sent home.
Oh my god!
I was like, Jesus, this is, and I went out on my own, so that's a big red flag. Young lad with a big black bag on his own. That is a red flag. Get him to one side.
The house and Pletcher coming through security.
Yeah. Just check that bag, please. But no, I got through fine in the end. But yeah, it were one of those things where I don't know if I'd want to revisit that purely because of that.
Yeah.
Because as you know, you can get visas, work visas. It is a thing to apply for.
Yeah.
But the chance of getting one is slim to none.
Impossible, yeah. Anyway.
I think with Europe, it's chill, but it's with America where it's tough.
One more thing with Instagram ads as well is having used it for so long. normally, until Apple, the bloody cheeky buggers, introduced this fee. So normally I just do it through the app on my phone.
Yeah.
And then I went to do it a couple of weeks ago, and it was like Apple tax 30% plus fees plus taxes, and it was ridiculous.
It ends up being like 100 plus over.
Yeah,
like
you stick 100 quid on, and you pay an extra 100 for just
taxes.
to Apple.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do it, go through the desktop version. So just got Instagram, exactly the same. It's literally exactly the same process. Audience, budget, whatnot.
But you do it on like a browser.
Yeah. Just go through like Safari, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then, just do the same thing.
Nice.
And
I didn't know that.
No. And you won't pay any Apple fees. It's exactly what I used to do. Exactly what I used to pay through the app.
But
just on just on the desktop.
Yeah.
I don't know why Apple have done that. Like, that's a bit cheeky.
It is weird. Yeah, and it's like, what are you paying for? What are you paying for?
I bet they've done. Apple. Yeah, they've done that probably because they know how many people promote on Instagram, and they're like, I want a bit of that pie.
Yeah.
I think anyway, personally.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Apple. I'm
a lot of people
were
utilising it. Like we mentioned earlier, like you just said, it were a bit of it's a free tool, but technically not anymore.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
But they are getting cheeky with everything, I guess. Like.
Absolutely.
Even the blue ticks and stuff like that. Everyone's got them, but you're paying for it.
Yeah. I tell you, like a blue tick, when I first got it, I was like, well, I've got a blue tick. And then everyone had a blue tick. And then you're like...
It's pointless then because everyone else got it. So it takes away its credibility and value. Yeah.
And then everyone's like, oh, but you paid for it. But I think now, the way I look at it for a blue tick is you just have like that extra security through Instagram, through Facebook, whatever. So like if any, like what I can't get over is like how Instagram is like 95% of like my shop front face and that is my business. Like Instagram, if that went down, like there's crazy, so many messages that I've got from like, you know, to refer back to dates and stuff, whatever. And if I lost them, I'd be absolutely buggered. So every now and then you can, I don't know if you know, but you can back up all your inbox.
Oh really?
To the cloud. To save it to your computer, it's like a couple of megabytes or something, depending on how many messages you've got. Just in case if Instagram ever did go down, you've just got that. You've got it all
backed up. That's a good idea. That's a good shout. Okay, so if a newcomer to the industry came up to you, brand new, never shot a wedding before, what sort of guidance would you give them? Sort of like tips and things, or maybe things to avoid. It's like essential guidance. What would you give them?
I'd probably say, like, unless you've been to so many weddings in the past, like learn how a wedding is, like learn the wedding day. I think it took me like a good year in the beginning to kind of like understand the structure of a wedding. Understand it's more important to know where not to be than it is know where to be.
Because that tells you where to be.
Exactly. Like my first church wedding, again, like, good example of where definitely not to be. First church wedding, I was at the back. I didn't want to be at the front, in front of everyone's face. Too shy. Yeah. Oh, just had me have a monopod. Hey. And then, surely enough, bride came in. Bride and groom looked forward for an hour. Didn't turn around. I got the back of their head, and I was just there for an hour, just like, shit. What do I do? That's some position that I'll never put myself in again. And I was too shy, too new to the industry to be like, just sneak past them and whatnot, and just kind of like try and get a shit, like, obviously in front of them. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And then surely enough, any church wedding after that now, boom, right at the front. And 9 times out of 10, they're always looking that way. For the most time anyway. Like I think like just learning how the structure of a wedding
is the key. The little details that you pick up on.
Absolutely. It's like you make a mistake once and I think you'll never do it again. That's what I would kind of like say to newcomers to the industry. Obviously there's like, goes without saying, know how to use a camera. Know how to shoot in bad situations before, like, it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe to include this, but like styled shoots, like new people coming into the industry, you're doing like styled shoots, workshops and stuff in the best conditions with the models and this and that, and they can work a camera and angles. And then you go to a venue where you're in a corner in a dungeon and you're like, shit, how do I work this? Learn how to master. It's totally different kettle of fish, and learn how to like master that scenario first. Before.
That's good. I think that's a good bit of advice. I mean, that's different to what I've had. When I've asked that before, that's a lot different to what I've had before. So I really like that.
Well, when I listened to the ones before, I was driving the car and I was like, I know what I would say.
Itching like,
come on,
just
get me on the
pod.
pod.
Out the window to strangers. Do you know this?
Learn the basics. But definitely learn the structure of the day. I think that took me like a good year just to kind of like, That sounds so long, doesn't it? Like, it took me a year to learn how to do
That's
it.
quick, mate. That's really quick. I don't think you realise how quick that is.
Well,
like,
I guess. Yeah.
That's really quick. And I mean, I would also say that that's like probably helps the fact that there's so many people doing weddings now.
Yeah.
That for you getting into it when you did was kind of like you can just pick up of what other people are doing to kind of look at where they're placing the cameras. And,
yeah.
Like,
I think I'm quite lucky. Like, I'm definitely very fortunate to kind of start, well, being like relatively fresh, that there was so much guidance out there already.
Yeah.
God, the amount of YouTube videos I watched
this is it,
beforehand, like so many. And 9 times out of 10, they're all American, so it's completely different setup.
Yeah.
Completely different structure of the day.
Yeah.
Ceremony at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
First look before the,
like,
I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah.
And then when you turn up to English weddings, completely different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's helped me massively, to be honest. Just kind of like, understanding the structure of the day. And DBAA. Don't be an asshole.
I told you I was blank on that one. I'm like, I hope you helped me out with this one. I've got like, nothing here, mate.
Is that a wedding reference or something?
yeah. Like I'm missing out on something.
Honestly, yeah, man. Just be a nice person to work with, because I think, again, if you're nice to work with, if you work with florists, photographers, planners, whatever, they will recommend you, and it has happened. Like, there's photographers I've worked with this year and last year who have, like, every week I get like an inquiry and it says, how do you know, like, who's recommended you? And it's like, this photographer, this person.
That's what you want.
Yeah, that's like when I get to that level and we have such a good relationship, connection, working relationship, and then on the day you're not turning up, and it's obviously if it's someone new, you're kind of like, for the first hour or so, you're kind of like seeing how other people work.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've turned up on weddings where sort of photographers like, oh, you right, Ryan? Like, how do you work the wedding day and stuff? And I'm like, I'm more like quite discreet, you know, like in the background, like to a certain point. If I need a shot, I'll probably like ask you guys. And she's like, yeah, me too. Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
And then 10 minutes later, they've got like 4 bloody light stands, boxes, and they're getting to like do this and that. And I like come back from the toilet and I'm like, well, that's not like.
Took a turn for the worse.
Yeah. Whoa, am I like the same wedding day here?
Yeah.
But yeah, like, just be nice to work with. I think
Yeah.
anyone getting into
Love that, mate. I love that.
industry.
Yeah. Be friendly, be nice, learn quickly. What areas are you currently then looking in your own work to improve? Whether that's like generally in a wider spectrum, you know, if you take a zoom out, like anything from business or anything in particular in terms of filmmaking, like what areas are you looking to like improve?
I was thinking about this on the way, actually. I think I really want to just kind of like hone in like the client experience from like start to finish.
Yeah.
And I find, because I've done quite a lot of weddings this year, maybe that's been a bit neglected. So I'm like, that's my biggest goal for next year, is to kind of really just like make sure that the client from start to finish, not saying they aren't now, it's not like, you know, you just
but it's just looking for ways to improve.
Yeah, just looking like I'm in the process of like making like a welcome guide.
Yeah.
Do's, don'ts on the wedding day, a bit of advice. Just kind of
teaser there, it's teasing it.
Oh yeah. 2025. Watch this space.
welcome pack. Here we go.
Just kind of making it like a more seamless experience. And just trying to make like a better client experience, really. Filmmaking, obviously, I'm like trying to improve every wedding.
Yeah.
Anytime I see like another wedding filmmaker on Instagram, you're like, oh, that's a cool shot.
Yeah.
That's like, I know a few people don't watch other filmmakers because they don't want to be too influenced by it.
Yeah.
But I think it's good to be honest.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm a viewer.
Yeah.
I'm very much an observer, and that is because for me, that's how I learn.
Yeah. Tarantino, he said, good artists copy, great artists steal.
There you go.
I don't know why I was going with that. But basically,
just promoting theft on the podcast.
No,
if you want that TV, right, go into Curry's and nick it. That's what Ryan's saying.
Don't copy the TV. Go and steal it. No, what I'm saying.
Yeah, don't copy it. Yeah.
I heard him talk about it, and basically like how his work is such like an amalgamation of like so many different. He loves it, obviously, like Scorsese, different filmmakers. And how he's kind of like molded that into his own type of genre, really. Yeah, 100%. And that's like you watch a film like Interstellar, we love the cinematography, and you're like, oh, I like that bit. I like aspects of that. See if I can like incorporate that into my own filmmaking and stuff. I think view as much as you can, soak in as much as you can. Yeah, personally.
Ryan Edwards. Is that your real name?
Yeah.
Ryan Edwards.
Yeah.
Is your real name?
It is. It's not. Actually, it's
Tom Cruise.
Uncle Grandma. That's my real name.
Uncle Grandma.
So when I first started, like, I was thinking, like, what the hell do I call myself? Like, like there's so many. Yeah, so many brands out there, and it's like some of them have got nothing to do with the name. It's just like Toast UK film or like this, and I'm like, oh right, okay, what do I do? And then I remember creating a profile, and I just put Ryan Edwards Wedding Films. I'll change it later. 2.5 years later,
stuck.
Ryan Edwards Wedding Films.
Yeah. If it works.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. I mean, it's not too much of a mouthful. It's just like.
Nah, I think it has a good ring.
Yeah.
It has a good ring to it. Yeah.
Ryan Edwards Wedding Films.
Yeah.
To the point.
Yeah.
That's who you're
getting. that's who you're getting. I am that person.
Yeah.
It's me.
You go on my profile, and that's
It's my face. It's my camera. Yeah. It's me.
I produce wedding films.
In 3 to 5 years' time.
Yes.
How do you picture, envision, or hope that Ryan Edwards Films is like portrayed, or where do you want it to be? Where do you want to go?
I'm still trying to get. I don't know. I'm still trying to get like.
He's getting his bearings.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get my bearings really in the industry. Like, you've been around obviously for like 7-8 years. I've only been for like 2.5. I'm trying to like kind of navigate on the path that I kind of want to stay on.
Are you happy where you are?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. Like, this year's been a struggle doing quite a lot of weddings. Next year, biggest goal was just kind of cut down a lot so I can have like more family time, like work-life balance. It's funny how, you quit a full-time job to work in a self-employment, and you go from working 9 to 5 to like working 365 days a year. It's like, before I left, I was like, I'm gonna have so much time. I'm gonna learn like piano. I'm gonna play piano again. I'm gonna learn Ukrainian, and now I'm like, I've barely got time to like do anything, which is like mental.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I know, honestly.
I think the crazy thing with being self-employed is just, I've said this before, but I'll say it again, broken record areas, but like, it's the non-stopness of it. Like, I'm like in bed sometimes at night, and I'm literally just about to close my eyes, just about to drift off, and then all of a sudden, something lit me. And I'm like, bastard. Why is that coming at me at this time of night when I'm trying to go to sleep? Sometimes it'll be like, how to start off a film. And I'm like, right, I better get up then. Or like something like that. And that's the part that I find quite brutal. Some people out there that don't understand, and they're not in the land of video. And like, people that just don't get it won't get it, but people that do are like shouting now. So like what I'm like, and I think it's like, it is tough. Like, there's really tough aspects to it.
I think it's like in the creativity.
Do you find that like, because you're quite early on, so are you already finding like that you're like stressing about stuff like that, or you just feel like really like on it, creative, and
I find like
if you look at your Instagram, like you seem on it, like you seem fresh. You've got all these ideas you knew. Someone's like me. I'm getting worn out here. I'm just like I'm like a tire that needs to get changed. I don't know if I can keep that in.
I think you should. That's funny. No, I think like, you can't just turn on creativity, can you? Like, you can't. Like, I can't wake up 8 o'clock, boom, produce like the best film, the best teaser, the best reel, whatever. Like, sometimes I'm waking up and it's like, it takes me like hours, it takes me days. Like, I'll sit down and I'm just like, I'm not feeling it. But sometimes when you go to bed and you're like, shit, I've got a good idea. If I don't do that now, I'm gonna lose it. And then you're just like, what I'll end up doing is sometimes I've written down notes. I've been like half asleep. It's like 11 o'clock at night. Whatever. I'm half asleep. I'll write down some notes, and it's like teaser this, or like highlight this, and it's like random notes of what I'm making. And then I'll wake up in the morning, I'm like, Jesus Christ. It's like trying to work out the ramblings of a madman. Like, I don't even it's like shorthand. You're like, what the hell was I thinking
it's like code. I'm like, what is this? What language is this? So sometimes that's why you have to just get up and do it, don't you? But it's even just like it's really bad. But obviously, I think most young'uns sleep with their phones at the side of the bed. If I see my phone light up and I look and it's an email, I'm like, oh, for God's sake.
I know. You know what I've started doing? So like on an evening now,
just lob your phone out a window.
Honestly, mate, straight out to the neighbour's door. But like
next door to Uncle Grandma.
Uncle Grandma, can you have my phone, please? Basically, I just turn my phone off or just leave it upstairs, do not disturb. Take my watch off, which is like a curse sometimes because it's just always gone off. And just leave it for like a good 5-6 hours or something. And it's helped so much.
What do you do that? Do you do that before you go to bed?
I do that to like say.
Why are you in bed?
No. Whilst like, say if I'm just downstairs, say from 6 o'clock, spending time with my missus and Jessie. And we're just like having like proper family time. Obviously, like put Jessie to bed and that, watch TV, whatever. And then I'll go up and then there might be like quite a few notifications, emails and whatnot. But then I can answer them in the morning or there at the time. But it's better than checking every 10 minutes.
Of course it is.
Pops up, and you're like, oh, because I swear to God, like, no one on earth can ignore an email or a lead or Studio Ninja pops up, and you're like, oh, let's have a look at what that is.
Yeah.
Oh, is that New York? Is that this,
That's
that?
The curse,
yeah.
It's so many people like in the industry will be like, oh, I'm going on holiday, I'm out of office. They say, I'm out of office, and I think,
oh God,
is it? Because like, if an inquiry comes through, you probably are replying to that.
Oh
like,
yeah, 100%.
Even when I went on my honeymoon this year, like, I were on my emails and stuff.
Yeah.
But to me, I don't mind it.
You have to be in this industry, I think.
Yeah, because it's not. Again, it's not. I don't want to moan about it, but it is. When you want, I feel like for people that are not self-employed, when they've got a holiday, they do fully switch off on a holiday and they have time off.
Because you're completely away from work.
But it's a little bit different for us, I feel.
I find the only, I know that's like contradicting myself, like you have to be on your phone all the time, but like I think the only time really, like I went on holiday in August, I think, for a week, and any like work emails come through that like weren't inquiries, for instance. I was like, they can wait. Accountant, they can wait.
Like that,
follow up emails, they can wait.
Yeah.
But like, I think in this industry, it's so important to be responsive. Communication's like everything. I think. Yeah. You got to be like, if an email comes through, like that New York one. If I didn't reply,
that's
straight away.
Example. Yeah. You literally said that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it was just meant to be, and just reply straight away. And that sounds a bit dumb, but
no, I get it.
Yeah.
I think one of the questions I forgot to ask you earlier, and I'm not sure if this is 100% accurate. I don't know. I briefly remember seeing it on your Instagram. It's about the TV crew thing.
Oh yeah.
So what was that?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So
I've hooked everyone there. Surely everyone's like, even people thinking, what the hell? Well, they're thinking, tell me more.
TV crew. Hello.
TV crew and Ryan Edwards.
Oh, collaboration.
Bosh.
Basically, that was for the destination wedding in France, and just on the outskirts of Paris, on this in this chateau, which was like absolutely.
I was going to say the shithole.
in this chateau, surrounded by a moat. It was absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, the bride and groom, they were like, "There's going to be a TV crew there on the day."
Yeah.
And beforehand, I mean, I was solo shooting it. I was like, "Oh God, I hope they're not like. I hope they don't overbearing and like take over loads of stuff." Anyway, on the morning they turned up, it was it was a guy and a girl, both English. And they were filming like a chateau renovation from start to finish. It just so happened to be that on one of the days they were filming, there was a wedding there. And then they wanted to interview the bride and the groom to see how, like, when they first booked the chateau to what it is now.
Was that like, so with this in France, you said?
Yeah.
Was that like a French TV
It was
or English? Or
the
American?
network CGTV or something. They've got like millions of followers on Instagram. Like when I first looked at it, I was like, oh my God, it's going to be like some massive production.
Yeah.
It was only 2 people that turned up. And one of them was on, they had a big FX9.
Yeah, the big boys.
The big boys on the shoulder. And then another one, it was just purely just for drone.
Yeah.
So honestly, like it was a fucking godsend.
Yeah, because I think they did give you some of the drone
They give
footage.
me all the drone footage.
Yeah,
and it was like a proper, like I think it was maybe the Inspire 2.
Inspire 2, yeah.
Yeah, the Inspire 2. And it was like...
hefty files though, those are big
files. Oh mate, honestly, yeah. But like... He was getting loads of shots in the film that I delivered to them. The opening shot is like coming over the chateau when she's walking down. It was absolute banging. And when people are watching that, they might be like, God, I was like, I've even had like a few people. It's like, how are you recording the bride come down and like this epic shot?
Yeah.
It was just them. I just at the end of the day, because we got on really well. I forget his name, sorry, but I was just like, "Can I just get all your drone footage?" He was like, "Yeah, mate, I'll send you all the raws and stuff."
That's amazing.
I'll send you. I've got loads of reaction. Like they filmed all the wedding as well.
Oh, did they? Yeah. So you had all that as well.
I had all that. I had all the. It's like I had a free second and third shooter on the day.
Yeah, that's
which
insane.
was like absolutely class. And then they sent me everything before they left. I was like, wait, they were like, oh, well, I'll send it. I'll transfer you it. And I was like, oh, can I just get it now? Because I know you'll forget. Sure enough, took my laptop over and I was like, SD card, bosh, straight in. And I was looking at it and I was just like, oh my God, this is great. Gold. Yeah, this is absolute gold. So yeah.
That's sick, man. I remember seeing it. I remember seeing it actually when you were posting at the time. There and stuff. And I'm like, God, this looks epic. Like,
absolutely class, man. I looked out there big time.
Because do you shoot? You shoot solo, right, don't you? Yeah. Do
9 times out of 10, yeah.
Yeah. Do you plan on making a bigger team or having more seconds? Or?
I definitely like the idea of having like a second shooter. Why are you laughing?
No, I'm laughing. Where I think you might be going with it, basically. I'll let you carry on. I'll let you know if I think you're going down this avenue.
I love the idea of having a second shooter.
Yeah.
And I think next year for some of the weddings that I've got coming up, I'm going to have to get a second shooter because they are like big weddings,
yeah.
like 200-300 guests plus.
Yeah,
which is like I just need it, like,
definitely.
And I want to make the best, obviously, product for the couple, and I find like having a second tutor is gonna totally like get to that. But for now, like this year, like I've been pretty content by myself, to be honest. Yeah, like a small footprint, like I said before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another thing I wanted to ask you,
yes,
Mr. Edwards, is Mr. Edwards, is that's someone, that, isn't it? I think I'm thinking like
that's
Edward off Twilight
like,
or something.
What's that?
I think I'm thinking like Edward off Twilight.
Edward Twilight.
But no, so I wanted to chat to you briefly about your editing process.
Yeah.
So you mentioned briefly that you've got like a bit of
I've got like a bit of a very unconventional type process.
I'm interested. Like I think editing processes are interesting.
Yeah,
that's
like
me being
totally. There's so many like different ways to skin a cat, and like there's so many different ways to like approach editing. And I do what's best for me. Maybe a lot of people don't, but like so when I edit the film, the final film, the teaser and stuff, I kind of like perfect everything as I'm going along. So like I'll find the song first.
Yeah,
that's always like the foundation.
Yeah.
Speeches, whatnot, like the audio to include in the film.
Yeah.
And then I'll find the clips, but as I'm going along, I'm color grading it, I'm correcting it, I'm doing this, and I'm like, basically, I want to, when I watch it back, even if I like the first draft, I want it to be a finished product.
Yeah.
Which I find a lot of people don't, that I've spoken to, they're like, right, I want to put the foundation in, I want to get the song, I want to do this, I've done the color grading, and they'll kind of like go like they'll run through it, color grading, and then they'll adjust the levels, and then they'll adjust like the sound and this and that, stabilization, whatnot. Yeah. Whereas I prefer just to do it from like the moment I start, because I just like to watch it back, how it's gonna look. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I just like doing it.
I think that's good. Yeah, I mean, I am like 50-50, so I edit. Probably really weird to most people then, because I'm neither one or the other of those two. So I'm not someone that does it right all at the end. Yeah. I'm not someone that does it right, like does everything from the beginning. Yeah. So just because I don't know what it is or where it comes from or what, but like I said, there's so many ways to do it. Yeah. How I start is I start very similar to you. I start with the foundation, start with the speeches, all that type of stuff or whatever. Yeah. The music. But as I'm going along, I'll do bits that I notice that I really want to edit in that moment. So like if it's for example, if it's a shot that I really like, I'm like, oh, this is a banging shot. Yeah. I'll then tweak it, color grade it, do all that on that shot. But then if it's like just a plain like reception shot, I'll wait to the very end and I go through and do all the checks then.
Do you call? Because I was
heavily,
Do you? Yeah. I literally don't call at all.
So I could talk about it to you more in depth, but yeah, I've got like a full like culling
like
system.
A full workflow.
Yeah, keywording, color coding.
Oh god, I don't do that. Nah,
no.
I honestly
it's really
don't.
easy because so shout out to a good mate Zaid.
Here we go.
He was the one that introduced me to all like the color coding and the keywording and stuff, because he had a good point in saying that essentially when you zoom out on your timeline, it depends how you edit. It depends on what you want your style to be.
Totally.
Sometimes I'll edit, not always, but sometimes I'll edit a highlight in a very like non-linear way. Yeah. And in order to visually quickly scan and see,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
If it's all color coded, so I've got color codes for like bride prep, details, groom prep, establishes drone, all that. So if you zoom out on your timeline, you can just have a glance and be able to say, right, that's all. Visually from a timeline.
You can just look at like a
without having to sit through it. You can just see, right, the color codes. It's different colors. It must mean I'm mixing it up enough.
Yeah. I know
sometimes but then sometimes it's handy just to go to a section. And be able to, like, say if you're doing like a feature and you're doing it fairly linear, you can see, right, this is how long bride prep is and this is how long groom prep is. You can just see
the different chunks that you want to put into the feature.
And obviously in your browser you can click on bride prep and you can go straight to a folder that's got all your bride prep in, just look through and pick out the ones you want. So
see, that's interesting.
It's a lot more time in the preparation bit of it, which can get quite tedious. Yeah, because you're not just jumping right to the fun of the editing and creativity, but
going through that whole colour.
You've culled the best of the best shots out of it.
Yeah. I find like just.
But I think if you're solo shooting, I would argue that, because I do that even when I do solo gigs, and obviously I know what I've shot. Like, I skim through and I realise. I don't remember every single wedding, but as soon as you open the browser, you're like,
You know the good shots, the bad shots.
Yeah, you know. So there's an argument there to be made that you're just making more time, like wasting more time.
When
you've got seconds or thirds,
that's probably where it's more beneficial. I think
it's definitely more beneficial because you don't know, so you have to sort of sift through, and then you can sort of sort it all out, and then there you go.
Well, yeah, maybe I need to start colouring if I do seconds or thirds.
But yeah, no, cheers. Thank you so much for coming on,
It's been a pleasure. My cheeks are actually hurting from laughing. Probably a lot of stuff that's
I'll stick that on my website. We've both got some website quotes there to go away with. But yeah, no, thanks so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, mate, honestly.
Let us know where the people can find you.
Where we can find you, yeah. So Ryan Edwards Wedding Films.
Just hiding behind the bush.
With a camera. Ryan Edwards Wedding Films.com website. Instagram, exactly the same. They're two pretty much the only ones that I use nowadays. I've got Facebook, but I don't think I've posted on it.
Facebook,
yeah, honestly, it's gone.
If you want though, can people find you on Facebook?
They can if they want. Yeah. I mean, the only people that like it is my mum.
You know, for the 56-year-olds out there, fans.
Yeah. Great work, Ryan, from Auntie and Uncle.
Yeah, from
Uncle Grandma.
Yeah, there we go. Finish on that. Well, cheers, mate. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks, mate. No worries, mate. Thank you.